Hey everybody, it's Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the world that matters to you. Glad that you're back with me. You're back in the saddle with me. I wanted to just share a few things that I've learned, or not necessarily learned, but discussed with a recent guest of mine. And we were talking about the launching of a new venture, a nonprofit, etc. And for those of you who watch the show, who listen to the show, who faithfully tune into this podcast, you're listening for a number of reasons. One, either you've gotten the itch to launch your own nonprofit project, entrepreneurial effort, etc., or you're in the phase of your job where you know it's important for you to be more entrepreneurial in your current assignment, in your current work, and you want to have those conversations. You want to have them in a safe space, and you want to be able to grow in that space as much as possible. So I'm committed to helping you think along those terms. And, the conversation I had with the recent guest really highlighted those thoughts that I've been sharing with you. And I felt I need to share those things with you again and reiterate those things with you again. There are four things that this person shared that they felt was really important in their journey of launching their nonprofit, especially when they were in the phase of hustling a couple of jobs while launching this special project of theirs, their nonprofit. The first thing this person said, they wanted to focus on filling in a gap. Now, when it comes to filling in a gap, that specifically means that you're launching this particular project, nonprofit, ministry, business, etc., to solve a need of the community that you're looking to serve. Now, depending on where you are geographically, you may be looking to serve a community that is geographically local to you, or you may be looking to serve a community that is widespread and may be located across the country or even global. Wherever your customers are, wherever the community exists as you define them, you want to put yourself in position to fill a gap. Now, you want to make sure that you understand the need of that community. You want to make sure you understand their pain points, and you want to make sure you are trying to launch a business that fills the gap for them, that plugs a hole for them, that meets a need for them. The second thing this person shared was you need to have resources, and resources can show up in a number of critical ways for your business. That can be strategic partnerships and relationships. That could be funding sources that you may be saving along the journey, or you may be getting from a lending institution. If you're a nonprofit, raising monies through grant sources, etc. You got to find the resources that are going to make a difference in the success of your business. And this leads me to number three, but it attracts funding to you, whether it's grant resources, whether it's investments from friends, family, etc., is the ability to sell what you're doing and to show people that you're willing to stay in your lane when it comes to your particular focus. There are too many of us who try to pitch ideas that we, finally came up with at the midnight hour and want to pitch people to it and get their support. And yet, when we pitch it, we're all over the place. We're trying to solve all world problems when the reality is we have a specialty to solve a singular problem, maybe two. So you want to stay in your lane and not recreate the wheel. If you're not adding anything unique to the discussion, to the marketplace, to your customers, to your community, then you're not necessarily doing anything of value. So we said fill in the gap, find resources, stay in your lane. And the last thing this person shared, which I totally agree with, and I preach this all the time during our podcasting time together, and that is leveraging your network. Your network is critical. When we were discussing this, the leveraging your network piece, I did feel a twinge inside of me because I remember, years ago when I was a part of, or at least trying to be a part of the multi-level marketing craze when I was coming up. And one of the things that was talked about was leveraging your network. And I struggled to understand what that meant because the network I thought about, family and friends I thought about, were not in position to support my business. They weren't in position to sign up and be a part of the journey. So the idea of leveraging my network didn't even seem realistic, and the people that might have been in position, they were focused on other things that mattered to them, and it did not include supporting this particular business venture that I was working on. And so ideally, it became something different. It became kind of a lonely journey for me. And so I had to learn over time what that meant to leverage my network. Now, my network is much different than it was when I started out in business. It's much different and much bigger, much broader, much more diverse and specific at the same time. But my network is not only inclusive of family and friends, but it includes people that I meet not only years ago, that I met years ago, but people that I meet at meetings now, people that I meet when I run into them at various functions and events. And I'm sharing this with you, particularly for the person who feels like their network is not necessarily in a place that will help them get to where they need to be. If that is true, if you're where I was years ago, then you need to start to figure out where your new network exists. Where do your new friends exist? Where do new partners exist? Where do people with resources, money, or people resources or strategic resources exist? You got to put yourself in position to find those individuals and present yourself and say, hey, I'm here to be a part of what you got going on, and I might be able to add value. So I hope that for those of you looking to launch something special, something unique, something wonderful to add to your community, I hope that this is helpful to you, and I hope that it continues to help you along your journey as you find your pathway towards launching your special project, your nonprofit, your ministry, or your business. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and follow me on your favorite podcasting platform. I'm here to be a part of your journey. And don't forget Facebook as well. I'm here to be a part of your journey. Follow us, subscribe, share this particular podcast with people in your inner circle, people you are talking with, people you're dreaming with, people who you want to support you, and or you may be thinking about ways to support them. Sharing this podcast is one of those ways you can do that, and I think you're doing them a great service by doing so. This is Dr. William Clark for Leadership Conversations. I love that you hung out with me for this short period of time, and we'll see you in the next show. Peace.